Hi everyone, it's Lori-Lynn, Spiritwithinus. Welcome to my channel. I just stopped on today. I'm going to do a 2-card pick. What I do is, my purpose is to help others to find their purpose and to live a life, their highest intention, and to be all that they can be. And I help people find the blocks that are stopping them from living that life. Giving tools, guidance, anything that's necessary, but it's typically being able to see the blocks. And so that's what I do. And so I started my channel a little while ago, and they say the first, 100 videos are not the greatest. So I'm really setting up as I go along to become more of what I really am. And for me, I'm focusing on the video on looking at me, which is kind of weird because that's something that I've never ever been comfortable with, but I am becoming more comfortable with myself. So to me, that's a challenge. And so if I can get past that challenge, and I'm working on that, then I'm in a better place. And so that's with helping other people do the same things, just becoming aware and knowing what we have to do to live that life that we so deserve. And that's why I say every morning, every single morning, wake up, and the first question we should be asking ourselves is, what is my greatest ideal of myself today? What do I want to accomplish? Where do I want to go? And be that. So if you set your intentions that you're going to be, happy, joyful, all those things, take every step forward to be that happy, joyful person that you want to be. So I decided that I actually wasn't going to come on today because with my work, I have a lot to do this whole week. So I'm not going to be on the rest of the week, or I might find the time, but right now I can't really see it. I have to, it's really a lot about is setting up, first of all, knowing your, what your priorities are, and then working on those priorities. And so my work, what has to be done right now is really a priority. And I didn't realize it was going to take as long as it actually is taking me, but I'm actually having a lot of fun with doing it because it's an amazing task that they've asked me to do, and I'm having so much incredible fun with it, just connecting with so many grateful people. And that really, I had set an intention many years ago that my goal, my dream was to connect with like-minded people. And I really have done that, and I've really been open to it. So when you're setting an intention, you have to also work towards it. You can't just set it and go, okay, well, it's going to happen. You have to make those and take those steps towards it. And sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it happens really quickly. But I always say it happens in divine timing, and it happens when you're ready. And it's not going to happen 1 second prior to that. And if it does, you may still have bumps along the road and lessons to learn, and it's not always so much fun. And so really try to keep your intentions in, your front part of your brain, your consciousness, so that you know that you are working towards those intentions. Okay. So what I did today is I pre-picked 2 piles, and I had a friend come over yesterday, and people like to give me things. And for a long time, it was almost kind of uncomfortable. A lady I used to work for said, because I got so excited, and it was because I was so excited that she wanted to give me something. And I thought, okay, well, that's kind of cool. So it's that kind of excitement that we need to live our life with, and that happiness and that glow. We want to radiate all of that out because that does bring forward. So anyhow, I was out spent yesterday with another friend, a really good friend. She's a healer. an incredible healer, and she lives in a farm, and she has a goat, Willie the goat, and I love Willie the goat, and so he's a lot of fun. But I went out there, and we just have such a connection. Not me and Willie and the goat, although we do, but myself and my friend. We've been doing meditation together for probably 4 years. And she has come, oh my gosh, so far. And I love our meditations, bring forth so much spirit, so much energy, so much love. I always leave with just feeling wonderful and knowing that I can accomplish and that I can conquer anything. And so when I got home, and then I was able to come home early enough that another friend of mine was coming over. And this was a friend I've known since I was about 14 years old, so a few years. And she brought me one of the stones I'm going to do today, this blue heart, as well as, and I didn't bring another stone from where she was in, I believe she was in Arizona or Phoenix. Maybe those are the same. Anyways, I'm Canadian. Sorry, apologize for any Americans. And so she brought me these stones, and I was just so grateful because we have this connection that we can just talk and learn, process different things that we're feeling, trying to understand ourselves a little bit better, or, just situations that are going on within our lives. And one of the things that we were discussing was about judgment. And I learned from another friend, we used to have this conversation quite a long time ago, and talking about judgment. She says, well, I'm not judging, but we're talking about these people, and it's just trying to learn. But I realized that we really were judging, and that was a wake-up call for me, because I don't like to be judged. I hated it as a child, because it puts limitations on us. So from that state forward, I really made a conscious effort not to judge people, to be non-judgmental. And when I moved to another town after that, I started working with a young man who I adore. I absolutely adore. He has a lot of issues that we've worked on. We've worked together for 5 years. He has a lot of cognitive difficulties. He's had a difficult upbringing, childhood, life. He's now 30 years old. And even though he has these cognitive issues because he has a lower IQ, he's just a beautiful person. But our relationship has taken us 5 years. Well, it didn't take us 5 years to get to where we are, but we just worked on it. But what he taught me most about was non-judgment. And just because he had some of these disabilities, and they are recognized by the government, so he'll be, on, anyways, that doesn't matter. Anyway, so he does have these disabilities. He's still an amazing person, and just has taught me so much about judgment, and to not judge, to understand, to have compassion for, he does things for certain reasons. He really does. And we would talk about why he's doing it. He would always say, hey, Lori, and I'd be like, okay, whatever. But that taught me so much about judgment. So I know that I've really come a long way. And when I do readings, and because I have to step outside of my ego when I do readings, because I come from a place of non-judgment. My readings are directly connected with spirit, and they're just messages that come to me, and I have learned to trust those messages. Another thing happened yesterday afternoon was with just before, about half an hour to an hour before my friend left, I started getting really this just crazy feeling, and it was kind of, I'm going to say scary, because I didn't know what it was. And it was like, I would say it's like somebody put something into my drink, and it wasn't possible because I wasn't drinking anything, but it was just a feeling. It was very uncontrollable, but it was fear-based to some extent, if that makes sense. Anyway, so she left, and then I started kind of cleaning up a bit, and I went outside, and there were 3 police cars behind my house. And I realized that this was a warning for me just to be careful, and that there was something going on. And so it really shows that we have to pay attention to our bodies, and because it's important to know when we get to know ourselves. And again, when I talk about intuition and when I talk about fear, it's to get to know that place that is our intuition, that it's different from that gut instinct, because that gut instinct is just fear. With this, it was an intuition because it was just an absolute knowing that something was off, something was wrong. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know where it came from, but I just trust that there's a reason for it. And so I'm so grateful for those messages and being guided by Spirit, although sometimes it does feel a little bit uncomfortable. And so that was my yesterday. Anyway, so I decided to come on today because I'm going to spend the rest of the week as much as I can doing my work and delivering these gifts to these people, that I really realized how grateful so many people are in the midst of this pandemic, when they can actually reach out and just see somebody. Friday was just such a spectacular day for me, because of the happiness that I'm going to say that I could bring, but it was the joy that they had that brought me the happiness. And it was that gift that they gave to me to be grateful and for everything that they have. And even though they have had very little, they have way more than so many other people, because they have this ability to be grateful. And when you're grateful, that your aura that surrounds you is so exciting and wonderful. And so realizing that really it is always connecting with the heart, with that heart space, and being grateful and doing the Hawaiian prayer, and it's please forgive me, I am sorry, thank you, and I love you, and really feeling that, so that the blocks that we have, the limitations that we have, we can get rid of them. We can get rid of those limitations and live to our highest potential, to be the people that we truly are meant to be. And we chose this life. And I say that in every single reading when I do, is that we chose this life. We chose these lessons. And sometimes we get taken off our course, and that's when people usually come to me. I know that people that come to me for readings, for any kind of counseling, and because I am a counselor, and I also do hypnotherapy and meditation. And when people come to me, I know that they have a deeper purpose within that needs to be fulfilled. And it's my job to help them to see past all of the illusions that are in front of them, and to live the life that they so want to live, that they dream about living, that they, really desire to live. And so let's find the blocks and let's move forward. Okay, so just give me 1 second, because I need a pen, which I know actually is in here. I apologize for not being completely ready, but I am now. So that is my intention within my readings, and is to help people live to their fullest, highest potential, being really loving yourself, believing in yourself, believing in your dreams, believing in your visions, creating, knowing that we get to create, that we are co-creators with the universe. We are the creators of our life, and it's up to us. It's not up to somebody else, and it's not something else that somebody else did. Lots of times when we have these paths, we have a higher calling. And so through my readings, there's typically a lot of tears that are shed, because people probably for the first time feel like they've been heard, that they've been seen. And so this, I'm extremely grateful to be allowed to do this. And then we work through that and past that. Okay, so I had 2 piles, and the first one is the blue heart. And the second one is this purple amethyst. It's got 6 sides to it, so it's kind of cool. And I believe I got that from my friend Charlene. And she, again, is an incredible, she's very gifted in what she does, and she creates these boards that I have quite a few of them. Anyhow, okay, so pile number 1. We're going to do that first. And that is, you chose pile number 1. Let's see what the blocks are right now during this week that you will have to work through, or can choose to work through. Everything in life is a choice. And I'll begin that by saying there's a 90-second rule. And the 90-second rule is every emotion that our body feels, it takes 90 seconds for our body to process any and all emotions. So whatever emotion we feel, give it 90 seconds to really feel that and process it throughout our bodies. After that 90 seconds, it's a choice. And that's where you say, okay, my 90 seconds is up. I'm choosing either to stay in that emotion, like say if it's anger, stay in that emotion, or I'm going to choose another pathway, and it may be a forgiveness, and I don't want to be angry. And so I'm going to choose a different emotion. Okay, so pile number 1, first card that comes up is the card of Sanctuary. And it says, in my inner sanctuary, I connect to peace, inner quietude, and comfort. So for group number 1 today, you really need to find some time of quiet reflection, of just cutting yourself off from the world. Turn off your ringers, your notifications. That's something I rarely have on, are notifications. I do have my ringer on because there's some people who need to get a hold of me. But when there's a lot of times I don't, because I just turn them off because I don't want to be disturbed. And somebody once said to me that for me, what it was is that every time a notification came on, it was like knock, 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 knock. And it was like constant. It was like someone was always knocking at my door, and they weren't going away until I actually answered my door. So with that realization that they brought to me, that was a gift. So I turned off my notifications so that I wasn't always being disturbed, especially at times when I knew I needed to sit, to find my own sanctuary within myself and find some inner reflection. And it doesn't mean you need to do this all day. It just means you need to spend a good quality time by yourself and getting to understand and seeing the beauty that's within yourself, finding those gifts. And actually, when I used to look at this card, I used to think that she was crying. But what I see rather is that she's allowing all of the light from around her. If you can see this light up here, that's your third eye, and that's connected to the divine. So whenever we are in this space of a quiet reflection, always open up your crown chakra and just allow that light and that love to pour in, to help us to heal and to reflect and to perhaps find yourself, find where we're at right now, what's most important. Wow, so there is time for this. The second card of awareness is creative cocooning. Creative cocooning is a freedom I give to myself. I create a safe nest for peace, healing, and calm. And so this is the card. And so that's the allowance. And so finding that time. And there's so much in this card, and it's really looking, there's the bird, and it's just allowing yourself to cocoon, to become really quiet, and there's a tree attached, so there's a rootedness, and that knowing that our ideas, or if we're blocked somewhere, opening up that crown chakra and just allowing everything to flow in, and saying with each breath you're taking and saying, breathing in peace, and then exhaling out whatever is not necessary, and then breathing in healing, and then releasing what's not necessary, and then breathing in calm. And so bringing ourselves back. And sometimes we have to get really creative, especially if you're at home. Lots of people are still not at work, and so you have to be really creative. So maybe you need to say, I need to take a bath right now, and lock your door in the bathroom. Actually, my mom used to do that when we were kids. And just find that little bit of peace that you need for yourself to create a sense of calm, to remember that there is a sense of calm within you, because there may have been so much going on that you need to find that place. You may have lost who you were, or lost a part of something, but you really haven't lost it. It's still there. You just need to reconnect with it. So you may need to become creative. Maybe you need to go for a walk. Go for a walk in nature, so that because of the tree and grounding, going for a walk and just connecting with everything you see, connecting with the birds, connecting with listening to it. They say, last time they talk about grounding in my life coaching course, I heard a lot, we talked about grounding. It's like, look around and just notice like 5 things that are around you. And there's a picture, there's a heart, there's stones, there's rocks, there's trees there, and notice those things. And what that's doing is it's refocusing your mind on all of those crazy thoughts that keep just going inside of your thoughts. So maybe take a walk to a park and just be at peace and ground yourself, and then put that healing energy around you, the white light, the blue light, the golden light. Protect yourself, align yourself, just reconnect with your spiritual purpose and goals. That's what this is about. It's really remembering who you are, because it might be a little crazy or fast-paced. So it's just stepping back and remembering what's important. Okay, so the next cards come from the Shaman's deck, and the first card is the Journeyer. And so when I talked before and I said, some people come to me, and this card really reflects, this is your journey. So it's time to take control and become 100% accountable and responsible for your journey, for your choices, for your decisions, for your life, for everything. Know that this is the journey that you chose. And if you think you're not with the right person, or if you think you're not in the right job, or you think you don't have this or don't have that, well, you get to create it. And sometimes you have to look back and go, okay, I see what the block is. I see where I made those choices, but now I get to make new choices. And so we start clearing out our energy, and we start being responsible 100% for our lives. And again, that goes back to the Hawaiian prayer, and I'll say it a billion times, but that really is, I am sorry, please forgive me. And you're saying that to yourself, please forgive me for not realizing that I need to be responsible, or that please forgive me that I held on to that memory, or I held on to that thought for so long, believing that's who I was. And the truth is, you're not. Those are some things other people gave to you. So this is your journey. And then always give gratitude and say thank you, and I love you. Okay? Really importantly, that I really, really love that, until you believe it. So you're clearing out, so you don't have all this baggage and these, strings attached to you. If you could see the energy that's all around you, you could probably see all the strings. And so, you know, when you're doing meditations, they do cord cutting and that sort of thing. I do it differently, and that's not my, like, I'm not a healer per se. It's just not what I want to do. I do healing, but it's just not, okay? I'm not going to go any further than that. So just remember that this is your journey, and be accountable and responsible 100%. Knowing every person that is in your life, there is some sort of meaning to that person, some sort of connection to that person that either needs to be, you know, recreated, broken down, and come back to a place of love. And so understanding all this, your role in it, and be accountable and responsible. Okay, so the second card, which is the card in the challenge position, is a card of fear. And what I'm going to say in this regard is that every single thing, every single thing that you want in your life that you don't have or are not getting, have not created, is on the other side of fear. And so if you're allowing yourself to be in fear, to sit in fear, to have that fear, move through it, figure out, ask it, where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? What age am I when this fear began? And then heal that, and then just say, no, I refuse to be fearful anymore. I am choosing to be 100 responsible, 100 accountable for my life, because I want to live to the highest potential that I possibly can. So whatever you want to do is on the opposite side, on the other side of going through that fear. And there's a visualization that I learned several years ago, and it can be really powerful. And it was, so you do the breathing, and then you close your eyes, and then you picture this bubble. And you can picture a bubble, or you can picture a door, whatever you're choosing, whatever works for you. But this bubble, and then on the opposite side of that is what you truly want. So you can see that, but there's something that's in the way. And it's almost like, actually Mel Robbins does a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 jump, which is great. So whatever works. And all what I did was just took a breath and said, no more fear, and pushed through that bubble and landed on the other side. So you have to visualize yourself doing this, and you may have to visualize doing that for a few times. It may happen once, and it may be aha, and there it is, or it may be more than once. So do it until the fear is gone, until you really completely love and believe that you are worthy and deserving of everything that you possibly could want in your life. Okay? Perfect. And the final card for group number 1 is the Shaman of Birth. And so this is saying to me that what you want is on the other side of that fear. And when you finally recognize that, when you finally see that, your life is going to change. It's not a rebirth, it's a birth. It's a birth of something new. So something new that perhaps you really wanted in your life, wanted to do. Let's say you have always wanted to play the piano, but been fearful because you were told you weren't good enough. Or I think about my sister-in-law talking about her singing, and they asked her in school not join the choir. And so it kind of makes me laugh. But it's something that it's pushing through that fear and going, you know what? I'm going to learn what it is I need to do to live that life that I want to live. So allow for a creation to come, a birth to come out from where the fear was at. So group number 1 has timing to taking the time to really go within, perhaps seeing where, seeing where some of the issues might be, and getting up close and personal and really asking yourself what it is that I want to do. What am I choosing to do? And looking at life through, different lenses, through a different perspective, and seeing how you are where you are because of the choices that you've made. And it's time to make new choices. And it could have been, the stuff that's happened in your past. Well, let that go. Release that with blessings and love and healing. I can't say that enough. Release it with blessings and love and healing. And tell yourself that you are worthy and deserving of everything you've ever wanted, of living a purposeful life, whatever that purposeful life is to you. You get to live the life that you want, not what somebody else wants. Even like other people within our family could have a completely different idea that's not your idea. So make that choice to live the life that you truly deserve and want to live. Okay, so that is pile number 1. So pile number 2 was my amethyst point. I really need to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. My 6-point amethyst. And I say thank you, Charlene, because it's beautiful. And it's funny because I'm not I tell stories, when I do readings for people, I tell a lot of stories, but I'm not a purple person. I am a pink person, and yet I'm wearing purple. It's not funny. Okay, so really, I can go back and say, so today is really about empowerment. Pile number 2, you are here to empower yourself, empower your life, to start living the life that you deserve, that you want. But you have to get really clear. Now, I don't know what the cards are yet, but I'm pretty sure that it's all in regards to what you're needing to understand inside yourself to release those blocks. So the first card, oh my God, and it's purple. Of course it is. Wow. I guess it's blue to begin with, but so the first card is the power of my voice. And if you see up here, and that's the connection to, so that's opening up that your crown chakra. When we open up our crown chakra and we allow the light, so this is actually picturing her connected to that soul star chakra that is about 8 inches above our head. And so she has connected to her soul star. So this is asking you, it's like asking you to remember who you are. And as you connect with that soul star and you allow that light to flow down, and it actually brings a real calming awareness throughout and within, and one that allows you to understand and speak your truth. The power of your voice. It reminds you of the power that is in your voice, the power that you can bring to others. And that's, speaking from a place of truth, but it's speaking from the heart. And I'll tell another story that I remember my cousin, we were one day, it was Christmas Eve, as my cousin's a child, and something happened and he said something, and his then girlfriend, they're now married, his then girlfriend said to him, "That was really rude, you didn't need to say that." And he said, "But it's true." And she said, "We don't always have to say those things just because you think that's judging." And so just watching that interaction is a reminder that if it's true, that's your judgment, and you need to speak. The power of your voice comes from within your heart. So connect that throat chakra to your heart, so you're always speaking truth from the heart. Okay? You always want to be kind and, well, that's my goal, so, and maybe it's not your goal, but be kind and compassionate, and the first place to be kind and compassionate and non-judgmental is to yourself. That really is the first. And the kinder and more compassionate that you are to yourself, the kinder and more compassionate you are to others. And then when it comes to a place of, speaking your truth, the power within your voice, like realizing that you do have a power in your voice, that actually, it's funny, I just got this image of somebody that sings, realizing that power that they have. So there's somebody that's just going to be, not for everybody, but just for a certain person or people, that there is a power within. Why, I don't know why singing's coming up today, but the power is, and it can be within song, it can be within joy, but it's radiating that out. It's understanding how to say things, and always coming from that place of love. But the best, most incredible singers are those that sing with a passion, with a great passion. There's a lot of good singers, but the great singers are the ones that sing with passion. So that's the same as, or similar to, there are a lot of great motivators, motivational channels and all that sort of thing. There's that, I can't remember his name, Anthony. I don't know his name, so I'm not gonna. And it's living with that passion, singing with passion, talking with passion, moving about with passion. This is all about using your voice attached to your heart and creating that life that you so want to live. So speaking your truth with honesty and integrity, okay? Compassion, and being compassionate towards yourself. So the next card, again, so it's purple. This really is lots about understanding, and it's the card of In the Flow. And it's such an incredibly beautiful card. And it states, when I am in the flow, magic happens. And it does. And if you look at all the colors, so these are all the chakras, allowing, like pink, love, orange is our sacral chakra, where we connect with other people. And so this really is a flow within ourselves. So we're learning to speak our voice with passion. And it may be difficult, so that's what this is saying to me. It may be a little tough in the beginning, but once we get to understand, once we recognize, once we see, once we connect fully with it, it just becomes a flow. And it's not, bashing into waves. It's just a flow. And so it becomes as natural as the day, the beginning of the day, it just becomes very natural. A part of life is getting into that flow of creativity, that flow of life, that flow of love, that flow of being who you want, the flow of, hearing, being honest with yourself. So the power of your voice, you're hearing these messages inside that aren't aligned with who you are, and just saying, that's not me. That's not me. And who am I? And then start recognizing who I am and being honest with yourself. And even if you've done things in your past that aren't so wonderful, and guess what? We all have. That's part of our journey. We can still release all that with blessings, love, healing, asking for forgiveness, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, understanding, and then we begin this whole new flow of who we are, aligned with our highest potential and our greatest passions. Okay, so it just becomes a flow. So that's today. So get out there and, connect with people. This is really about getting to connect with yourself and then connecting with other people. And just, I'm kind of seeing a party happen in here, but so that those that you connect with kind of are brought in because of that energy that you have created within. Okay, wow. So the clarifying cards are the from the Shaman's deck of Who's With Us, and the first card is the Shaman of Foresight. And so shamans are our guides that are with us, our main guide that's with us forever, always. Can also be loved ones that surround us, that embrace us and want us to live the greatest and most blessed life that we deserve. I know the people that are behind me and, pushing me forward to be the best person I am. And so the Shaman of Foresight always says, open up your third eye and be very conscious of your third eye. And our third eye it actually starts back here. This is funny. Oh, I finally found my other heart. Sorry. I was looking for it. A purple heart. That's what I was looking for prior to this and couldn't find it. Anyways, so when we're born, we have this soft spot in the back of our head. And if you do a diagonal up, it actually comes up to where they say the third eye is. And that may sound silly to some people, but that's our foresight. That's that when we connect with our third eye, when we open up our third eye, we open up to our journey, our path that we have intended. So when the Shaman of Foresight appears, he's saying, you picked a path, a very specific path, and if you're not at that place, it's time to listen to your heart, speak your truth, get into the flow, and just allowing, like be led by your intuition, be led by your third eye. Ask yourself, is this serving me? And if it's not serving my highest purpose, let it go. And then ask yourself another question. And yes, it's serving my highest purpose. I guess it's serving my highest purpose sitting at home, feeling sorry for myself. No. So is it serving my highest purpose to step outside of myself, outside of this, this box that I put myself into? Maybe that's scary, but is it serving my purpose to step outside of that box? And so you start stepping outside of that box. And it's the knowledge that we do. It's almost like opening up the knowledge that we have inside of ourselves. Like I don't heal people. I don't tell people what to do. I don't predict the future, any of those things. I help people to go within themselves and start living the life that they know that they came here to live. I just help them with those blocks. That's my job, is to show them the blocks. It's up to them to do what they want. So, connecting with your third eye, and there's a few ways, and someone I used to do that quite a bit, just tapping on it. And they say, you're going to hurt your third eye. I'm like, no, I just kind of tap on it to make sure that it's opening up. And the best way to open up your third eye is to watch a sunset. So watch a sunrise. It's those colors. And when I was living at the lake, every single day would watch the sun set. And it was and I did it purposefully to align and to open up my third eye. And that's what I wanted to do, so that I could see those steps forward. And when our third eye is connected with our solar plexus, when that's aligned and then aligned with our heart, that's the passion. But when it's connected with our intuition, we start following our intuition. And the messages that we receive, we start listening to those messages and following that route. So it's a foresight that you already know. So that's the awareness that's coming out of there. So it's like, I always wanted to blah, blah, blah. As a child, I always wanted to. And there's a reason for that. And so what is that message that you need to hear? But you need to open up your third eye, connect it to, because you've opened up your consciousness chakra, you're becoming very honest with yourself. You're becoming honest with others about who you are, and really embracing that and loving every minute of your life, every minute of your existence. Okay, so that's the Shaman of Foresight. Okay, so here we go. The second card, which is the card of, I call it the challenge position, and it's the Dancer of Reconciliation. And so there's two reconciliations here, but the major part of the Dancer of Reconciliation is reconciling with ourself. That's the journey that you're at, or possibly at right now, is reconciling with yourself. And that's why the Ho'oponopono and Anano, the Hawaiian prayer, is so important. Reconciling with ourselves, because if we're walking around with fear, shame, guilt, blame, all of those things that none of us want to walk around with, when we walk around from a place of love and laughter and belief in ourselves, then that's what this is about, is reconciling with ourselves. And it does become a dance. And so it's trying things out, and then maybe, you know, it's like stepping outside the box a little bit and then coming back in again, then stepping outside the box again, then coming back in again. So it's reconciling, but each step, it brings you one step closer to who you are, to your highest potential. Lots of people always said, you know, it's 2 steps forward, or 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And I always called bullshit on that, because, you know, like I said at the beginning of this, when I was working with my guy, it would be always, every gain was 2 steps forward. And yeah, sometimes we retreated back, but it was never more steps back. There was always a lesson within that. But that lesson becomes within the non-judgmental aspect of it. So, you know, being understanding and compassionate. So you need to give yourself that understanding and compassionate. Stop judging yourself. There's enough people that judge who we are that you don't need to judge yourself. Sorry, that's my dog. So reconcile with yourself first, and that's going to allow you to reconcile with others, okay? And the final card, wow, okay, is the Ancestor of Tribes. And really with this card, the awareness and the importance, and what I really seeing within this card is that green. And so that's that love. Our heart chakra is green. I see it as pink because pink's my color. But our heart chakra is green. And knowing that the people that are in our life, the people that we are most close to, being our family, often our friends, and often with different workspaces, we are brought together to learn lessons. So they are really there. They're here to, you know, help you. Sometimes they push you in ways that we don't like. But if you can remember, there's a lesson behind every single thing, every single action, reaction, every single experience, every single circumstance, every single, you know, coming together. There's always a lesson. And so it's like I'm not sure how to say this, that before we come down on our soul's journey, we realize that, or we make these commitments to, if we're not in a certain space, you're going to come forward and kind of push me, you know, make me move. So move you out of your comfort zone. Or, you know, you wanted to learn a certain lesson, so I need to go in there and help you teach you that certain lesson. That's the Ancestor of Tribes, understanding that we're together and that the people that are in our lives are in our life for a purpose, to help teach us. So hate them all you want, or decide, make that decision, that choice through your voice, connecting with, you know, your consciousness chakra, your soul star chakra, opening up your third eye, you know, really being loving and kind and gentle and compassionate to yourself, understanding that the people that come into your life, so rather than hating on them, loving them for bringing that lesson to you, because you want to learn this lesson. And beyond that lesson is your most highest potential, your greatest version of yourself. Okay, so that's the reading for today. I thank you all for being with me, and if I can get on again this week, I will try to. Depends how much work I get done. Have an incredibly blessed day, living to your highest potential, connected with your highest purpose. Be really open to learning and to, you know, being loving. Always be grateful. Always, you know, have your rituals that you do that allow you to connect, that allow you to be all that you are meant to be. Live that life with passion and with gratitude, opened up. Be very grateful for all that you have. Okay, namaste, God bless, and have an incredible day. Enjoy the sunshine. It's a beautiful day here in Manitoba. Sending out much love and many blessings.